All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God. Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rakach Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops at Great Millstone. I'm your brother, Rabbi Nat, coming out with a lesson, Lord's will. This is edifying to the Lord's elect. Let's look in the news. This is Trump arrives at Davos with Europe's leaders on edge and Lisa Cook's firing under some Supreme Court. Let's see what this is talking about. Davos is in Switzerland. He's going to the WEF forum or whatever to discuss world issues. It says, President Donald Duck is expected to arrive at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland today and hold a series of meetings with European leaders rattled by his aggressive push to take control of Greenland. And they asked him last night, they said, what are you going to do? How far are you willing to go to take over Greenland? And he said, you're going to find out. We already told you before, he's governed by his own morals. And looking at the white man's history, you could tell he don't have no fucking morals, man. He's running off the spiritual demon Satan. That's what's giving him the power to talk this shit that he's talking, man. Being as proud as he is. But the Lord ain't dealing with that nigga, man. And neither is he dealing with you Edomites. I did a video on how Don Lemon went to a church in Minnesota. He was asking the pastor all these questions, and the pastor was a fucking, supposedly he either worked for ICE or he was something like that. He was exposing his ass, man. And that's what he's gonna do. Esau's gonna put your pastor in a, he gonna put ICE agents as your pastor in your church, and you so damn stupid and dumb, you ain't even gonna tell the difference, man. He gonna sub right in, he gonna talk all that same bullshit that your pastor been talking for years, except he gonna add a little bit to the doctrine. He gonna tell you you gotta take a chip if you believe in Jesus Christ. You true believers believe in Jesus Christ, you gotta take that chip. And y'all gonna take it. You gonna sing and dance. Like we tell you, man, he gonna bring out Romans the 13th chapter and he gonna break it down wrong and he gonna tell you to go take the chip and you gonna be like, yep, that's what it says in the Bible. That's all it said. That's continue reading. Duck recently vowed to hit Denmark and 7 other European nations with 10% tariffs next month unless they cut a deal to give up the region. And he hasn't ruled out the use of military force to take it if he deems it necessary. And I believe the Prime Minister of Greenland was saying how he was thanking the European nations because some of the people are already over there in Davos and they're talking. Who else is over there? So he was basically thanking the European nations for sending troops, and they didn't send a lot. But then on another forum or platform, I think it's the same one, he told the duck to go fuck himself. Then they said, yo, you can't talk like that here. But hey, the point was already made. That doesn't sound like somebody that's willing to negotiate to sell his country. It sounds like he ready to go to war with you. And I would be ready to go to war with you too. Because we see these Europeans are starting to see all that rhetoric and all that talk. I'm just gonna empower you by allowing you to come over and do all this shit to this land, man. And you already think you tough and you all puffed up and shit, so why would I even embolden you anymore? You're just gonna do it here, and then you're gonna expand your border to talk that same shit to Europe. So they better come and help me now, or they're fucked in the future. Because but Edomites think, in the year 2080, so their mindset they think they got it all mapped out. In 2080, we should be on the moon. 2192, we should be immortal. So they got a weird, skewed vision of the world. They think they're actually going to be here long enough to reap all the wickedness that they sowed. They're not. It says This is Morning Rundown, a weekday newsletter to start your day. Sign up here. I don't need that. Although Greenland's prime minister warned the prospect of a U.S. invasion can't be ruled out, Duck told reporters, I think things are going to work out pretty well. We'll see. I wonder what's up this devil's sleeve. I think it's not going to work out pretty well because he don't read the Bible. I think they're going to burn you with fire. I got my money on the Lord. I'm all in, man. I took the spread. The spread is you're going to get burnt with fire. Imagine putting your money on something like that. But that's what I believe. That America's going to get burned with fire. His allies, just the way the Lord said it. Your allies are going to switch on you. You're the iron. He's the miry clay. This is why y'all never won. And that's going to continue to increase until the point your ass gets destroyed. So I trust in that. I believe that. I can see it. But a lot of people can't see it. It says he's consistently cited national security concerns with Russia and China as his reason to annex the island. But despite a wall of world leaders weighing retaliatory measures against the U.S. in the face of Duck's threats, one former administration diplomat said, there's a lot of crocodile tears in Europe. Crocodile tears mean you ain't really crying. A lot of crocodile tears, so they really don't care about your beef with Russia and China. That shit ain't got nothing to do with them. As a matter of fact, they like Russia and China. They don't see what's so bad with doing business with them. They starting to say, yeah, man, something wrong with this dude. You know, this power's getting to his head. Yeah, we want to be on your team and all of that, but you're so proud. It's called a haughty spirit. You got a haughty spirit, so you're so disdainfully proud. They're telling you just let's just sit and talk with respect. They're not even asking for much. The nigga can't even do that. You know, let's just be respectful one to another when we're on camera. We could talk all this shit off camera, but on camera, just kind of watch your tone a little bit. Nah. We can do this the hard way or the easy way. So there's no negotiating with the devil, man. And a lot of you sellouts, you're going to find that out the hard way. You're going to find that out the hard way, man. He gonna show you that you fucked up. He going to ask you to do more and more, and then he going to want you to do beyond what the agreement was. And if you disagree with him, he's going to kill your ass, get you up out of the way. You'll never stop. As soon as you take the bag, man, that's all the way to your death. You just deteriorate from that point on. You're going to start to see that more and more too. Even though we already see it, we see what you're doing with the doctrine, we see how you're living your life. You would have thought you would have got better by taking the bag. You know, you probably would have quit just speaking, take the bag, go on vacation or something. You niggas are still doing the same thing, just with a different doctrine. That shows how bugged out you are. You ain't even spending the money you got. Because you got to continue to do videos. And you can't even just fully forsake the Lord and just run off. The Lord got you right there in that trap. Now you got to keep spewing out lies, and then you see prophecy being fulfilled. So now you're fucked on both sides. Says they'll go to Davos and go to Duck's hotel suite and close the doors, and they'll look Trump in the eye and say, what do you really want, Donald? Let's cut the BS, he added. That's how it works, said Gordon Sondland, who was ambassador to the European Union in Trump's first term. Duck will deliver a speech at the forum this morning after arriving later than planned. His Air Force One plane returned to Joint Base Andrews on Tuesday night following a minor electrical issue en route to Davos. He caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, man. I gotta grab that. Isaiah chapter 19, verse number 14. The Lord hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err and every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. So even the plane that he's flying on is getting electrical issues. They're probably skipping steps. You see, he that is evil to himself, to whom can he be good? Or to whom can he do good? He can't do any good for anybody, man. He can't even get his wiring system correct before he take off. And he supposed to think he the Most High. The Most High wanted to fly like that. He wanted to be in a chariot like that got electrical issues. Imagine Yahweh Shah's coming here and he's like, hold on, I gotta take a pet stop at Sunoco, get some gas real quick. There we could go. You know? He ain't got power like that, man. It's showing you that he's just a man. He ain't got what it takes, man. These police officers becoming DJs now, man. Remixing that shit. You know? So he caused Egypt to err in every work thereof. So all of the works of Egypt is in error. It doesn't have, it's not, what's that scripture? The wise men are teeming. They're going off. Is there no more wisdom in teeming? KJV. Jeremiah 49:7, concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai of hosts, is wisdom no more in teeming? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? Yeah, is your wisdom vanished? You don't know how to build planes and shit like that anymore? The Wright brothers ain't couldn't build a plane. They didn't even have all that tech that you got in your shit. They were able to fly. But yet your plane costs way more money, way more manpower, more labors, and your shit getting electrical issues before you even get to your destination. You were probably supposed to be there yesterday. You must have been scared as shit up there. Whenever I'm on a plane and it says I got some type of technical issue, I get scared. You know, especially if it's electrical. Everything runs on electronics. If that shit go out, you can say goodbye to pretty much half your government right there. Now he gotta go over there. That's like, come on, man. That's how niggas are, man. You ride around in your hoopty, you got all types of issues. You don't really want to get it fixed because you want to keep the money so you can spend money on other issues. That's what we're starting to really see the nigga gene in you so-called white people, man. That the so-called nigga you call, that's you. We're starting to see it. The way you run your house, man. The way it's not well ordered. You look at the so-called so-called nigga's house, right? It's not well ordered, right? They're beefing with the kids out of school. The mother's fucking out of her damn mind. The husband's always in and out of jail. That's sort of like you. Your ass just went to court, had multiple charges. Then you got beef with everybody in your hood. Nobody like you. You robbing and stealing. You lying all the damn time. That's what niggas do. That's what niggas do. Now we pointing you out to being the head nigga in charge. You the head nigga. Because these niggas over here that you have in your land, they've got destroyed. You're in your natural state. This is who you are. You ain't been oppressed. You ain't been brought down to a low degree. You ain't been nothing. And money just makes you more proud, makes you more who you truly are. And I'm glad we get to see that. And to water Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai for allowing us to be alive to see this nigga fall. As a matter of fact, let's go to the book of Luke. Am I done with that? Yeah, so there's no more wisdom in teaming. Teaming going into you Germans. You're the wise men of Edom. You're the wisest of them all. I wonder who built this plane. It better been somebody from teaming. I wouldn't want no Hamite, Moabite, got a Chinese motor in there. Nah, get me a German-made motor, American-made motor. I wouldn't even want anything American-made. GM's supposed to be your best engine, and that shit be failing before it reached 250. But that's a shitty-ass motor. So the wise man of teaming, he don't got no more wisdom. I believe he's a German too. I looked it up. It said Duck was a German. So that's your wisest out of teaming? That's who you choose to rule over you? See, he don't have no wisdom. So Ecclesiastes, the 10th chapter, plays a part. An unwise man destroyeth his people. He's going to destroy you. This rhetoric that he got with Greenland and Denmark and EU and all of that, that's going to cause you to be destroyed. Your tariffs, your goods, a lot of y'all whipping around in foreigns, y'all going to be paying it might be double, triple, quadruple just to get the parts. Then you're not going to pay for those parts. You're going to go aftermarket. Then you're going to keep fucking your car up. You're going to go get some shit from AutoZone because you can't afford you can't go to the dealership and get some rotors or something, or you know, the exhaust manifold you want. So you got to go to AutoZone and that shit's going to break. That's going to fuck up your $90,000, $100,000, $150,000 vehicle. Jeremiah 49:7 again concerning Edom. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua of hosts, is wisdom no more in teaming? Yeah, you don't got no more wisdom. You can't he don't know how to do business. He don't know how to do anything right. That the so-called white man's wisdom is failing him. There's a scripture that's what a fool does when he comes. Let me grab that. A fool's wisdom fails him, KJV. I think it's Proverbs. Where is it? A fool's wisdom. Wise man heart and his. Yeah, there it is. Wise man show me the Proverbs 26. Proverbs 26. Let's go there. The wise man's heart is in his. Yeah, let me go there. Where is it though? It's locked here. Proverbs 26. That's not it. A wise man's heart is at his right hand, but a fool's heart is at his left. Yeah, that's what you're looking for, but it's not giving me the precept. A wise man's heart is in his right hand, but a fool's heart is in his left, KJV. Oh, is it Ecclesiastes? Oh, it's Ecclesiastes. Okay, I thought it said Ecclesiasticus. It is Ecclesiastes. I'll start at the top. The points in 2. Ecclesiastes 10 verse 1. Dead flies cause the ointment to the apothecary to send forth a stinking savor. So doth a little folly him that is in reputation for wisdom and honor. So dead flies, they stink up the place, man. Matter of fact, let me see if there's any dead flies today. Great day to panhandle. Is this the dude that got cooked the other day? So that's what you would call flies. So, you know, when you're trying to bring out the word, you got somebody, they don't add to it. They just flies. They're just flying around. You kind of got to swat them away and kind of keep your mind focused on the word. Because there's a lot of flies in this world, man. Okay. Hold on, so that's the spirit. Flies love to come over here. You up early today to talk shit. You see, people have no life, man. You know, they'll get up early, it don't matter. And then that's just the beginning of his day. It's going to continue on to the point his ass gets destroyed. And then he probably going to see me through the spirit, whether I'm 1/3, 2/3. I'm going to get your ass back. It tells you in the book of Matthew 12, verse 36, that you could, every idle word. Are you near the beer? You see? You see? Foolishness. This is the book of Ecclesiastes 10, verse 2. A wise man's heart is in his right hand, but a fool's heart is a fool's heart at his left. So a wise man's heart is in his right hand. Your right hand is your strong suit. Your right hand is your wisdom. A wise man's heart is in his right hand. It's in his wisdom. But a fool's heart is in his left, which is in his folly. Okay, he likes the foolishness. That's where his wisdom is. In doing things that are dumb. He like a Johnny Knoxville when it comes to life. You know, everything's a joke. He's always funny and laughing. He don't operate in wisdom. You know, he's always looking for a laugh. He's always doing something stupid. That's what a fool does. A fool don't understand. He don't see any. He doesn't see any value in the word. He rather when something serious is being spoken about, he likes to talk trash and you know, joke like in the wrong time. That's what he likes to do. Ecclesiastes 10 verse 3. Yea, also when he that is a fool walketh by the way, his wisdom faileth him, and he saith to everyone that he is a fool. So that's what I want to teach. A fool's wisdom faileth him. You know, you might be talking to someone, he's adamant about showing you how right he is, but then he'll say something that don't make any sense. And then you can see it in his face. He knows he fucked up in his mind, and then he kind of quiet from that point on. That's because his wisdom failed him. He can't even, like, then he'll probably just scoff or something because his wisdom failed him. You know, he thought he knew something, like a lot of Christians, for example, when they come up against the men of the Lord, they got all their precepts ready. John 3:16, Galatians 3:28. They're ready to go. They got their 2 precepts. They come up, and then they get slaughtered because they don't know about the mysteries of the Gentiles. They don't know about the Apocrypha. They don't know about the Blue Letter Bible. They don't know that Israel has never been forsaken. So they look stupid when these other precepts that they never really thought of come out, and then they're just sitting there thinking, damn, I really don't know what the hell I believe in. Just like a lot of y'all. So the same thing's going to happen to a lot of y'all. You go to these harlot churches, and you're going to be destroyed following them. Esau got people. He paid people off. So they made a lot of money on their tax benefits. If they were willing to take it back then, how much more if the pastor goes, listen, I'm going on vacation for the next year. Listen to my man, officer, you know, Mr. Rodriguez here. And, you know, I'll be back. That's what he's going to do. Because these temples don't even belong to these these people who own these churches. You don't own that church. You don't own the land. You don't even own yourself. Okay? And you're out here telling people lies and you think nothing's going to happen to you. Something will happen to you. Okay? The Lord, you can read Jeremiah, the 23rd chapter. Goes into that, man. Ezekiel 13. It goes into people like you. Okay? Ecclesiastes 10 verse 4. If the spirit of the ruler rise up against thee, leave not thy place, for yielding pacifieth great offenses. Yeah, leave not thy place. You don't want to make haste to get out of the presence of a king, because then he gonna think, you know, you against him or something. You know? Best thing to do is use your wisdom. Operate in wisdom. Don't let them know what you're thinking. Now us, hey man, I'm fully given to the Lord, man. I'm putting it all in the Lord's hands. Because I know one thing's for certain, you're going to die, man. One way or the other. If he don't deliver you in this time, in these last days. Because everything has increased. Everything that he put in your food, the air, you know, just everything. The people is more dangerous at the same time than it's pretty much ever been since I lived in this country. I've never seen it like this. I thought the year 2000 was tough, you know. Had a bunch of gangsters out here, mad people, man, shootouts a lot of the times. You had to really watch who you were chilling with when I was growing up. You get your fucking shit split if you weren't. That's a form of wisdom. But now, ain't really like that. But now it's the government doing it to you. They're the gangsters now. They're taking on the role of that's where the Bloods and the Crips and the KKK, they all joining now. Them niggas are all tattooed up. Look like they all just got out of prison. That's what they look like, a bunch of thugs. Or a bunch of, excuse my language, Call of Duty players, man. You out there got all that armor on for somebody dressed up as a fox. Scary as hell. But that's pretty much it on that. Let's see what else the duck's talking about. I can't wait for him to speak because he's going to say something crazy out of his damn mind. Here we go again. Here we go again. Spot here. Yo, this shit is crazy, man. Okay, next one. Stock market today, Dow, S&P 500, NASDAQ futures rise after Trump's Greenland threats prompt worst day. Who's manipulating the stock market? You probably want to buy some cheaper stocks. Yeah, I'm going to go invade Greenland, have all these stock prices drop. Then he's telling his man, yeah, you buy that up, you buy this up. Give you a different entry point in the Bitcoin in my stock, my cryptocurrency. His meme coin's like at $5. That shit was at like 40 when it started. So you already cashed in on all that shit. And then once it gets up, probably up to 10, he gonna crash it again. That's probably where he's really making his bag right there, off his cryptocurrency. All you gotta say is a few words and the stock market crash. What kind of shit is that? Your bag should crash. These people got way too much power. Just like Elon Musk, he used to come out, talk about Dogecoin was, he'll say, put out a tweet, and the shit starts skyrocketing. What kind of economy is that, man? That's a fake economy. You can't live in a system like that, where some dumbass can come out and say 3 words and then your money go up and down, man. Get the hell out of here. That's not real money. Only in a false world will that make any sense to somebody. People see that and they're in awe about that. Oh, word. I'm rich today. Idiots. So you got to rely on somebody's words to determine if you got money or not. It's foolishness. Let me grab this in the book of Zephaniah. Because that's just a partial collapse. I think it told you it went down 600 points. It's already overinflated. So when it drops, if it's up 50,000, 500,000 points and it drops 600, that's not really a collapse. You damn fool. It's way beyond, Bitcoin ain't worth anything, it's zero. It's up over thousands of dollars. Almost 100K. The shit's not worth anything. It doesn't do anything. That's what kind of foolish economy you live in. Zephaniah 1 verse 10, and it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord, that there shall be a noise of a cry from the fish gate, and a howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills. So when you look at the Jerusalem, you look into this precept, they had different sections. Okay? And by the time you get to the fish gate, it's probably in the first section, but then you're gonna hear that, you're gonna hear the noise from the fish gate being taken over. Like if somebody was invading, they come in to take that. Okay? And then you hear people in the next part, they hearing what's going on in the fish gate, and they're crying. Because they're getting prepared, like, oh shit. If they got in there, they coming to us next. So that's the second. And the fish gate is where you did your trade at. Fish gate is your modern day stock market exchange. When that shit crash, you gonna be howling. Just like the Great Depression. Because what comes after that? When the stock market crash, that's your ass. That's what's gonna happen. And that's going to happen. Zephaniah chapter 1 and 10, it says, in a great crashing from the hills. When you look at your portfolio, it goes up and down. You can see the hills. That's just going to crash, man. And it's never going to rise again. This is the last crash. It's not gonna, after the Great Depression, they got the rebuilding of America and all, fuck all of that. The next industrial revolution, no. You're not going to have that. Okay? It's going to be a great crashing because it's going to be the last crash. And then the nation of Israel is going to rule. We're going back to the shekel. Okay? We're going back to just weights and balances. We're going back to righteousness. Okay? This nigga works with false balances. That's why you got things like this that ain't worth shit is worth the most money in this world. Just like Esau, he ain't worth shit, but he's way up at the top. Zephaniah 1 and 11, how ye inhabitants of Maktesh, for all the merchant people are cut down, all they that bear silver are cut off. So, the silver and the gold, that was the standard then. Now your money is Federal Reserve notes and stocks and bonds and shit like that. You're going to be cut off. It also tells you that in the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter, where it talks about you taking the MOTB in order to or buy or sell. So that's another reason why you're going to be cut off. He's going to use that to try to gear you into getting into his MOTB. But the men of the Lord, they know not to take that. That's better to go die to death. And just trust in the Lord. That's why they building themselves up now, because that's the only thing you can do. Is put your trust where it belongs. He's the one who put all these things upon us. Last thing you want to do is make the same mistakes as your silly ass forefathers did when it came to dealing with the so-called white man, thinking he's your fucking friend. He is not your friend, man. He's your enemy, according to the book of Ecclesiastes, 12th chapter. Now, that don't mean every single person that got white skin is your enemy. I'm talking about these damn Edomites, the ones who run this place. The low-level Edomite, he don't even know. He gonna find out the hard way, like Duck says. He gonna find out he's an Edomite when his ass is getting ground up. What's an Edomite? No, I didn't do anything. No, you're an Edomite. You going into slavery? Oh no, I'm not. I never heard of the word. Yeah, you going into slavery. Slavery? I love everybody. And that's why we're going to whip your ass. Because they going around telling they love everybody, but yet they fucking robbing and stealing all this. Get the hell out of here. You people believe that bullshit. Let me grab that as a matter of fact. So Maktesh is the modern day Maktesh is your New York Stock Exchange. Let me look into that word Maktesh real quick. Interlinear. How ye inhabitants of Maktesh. It says a mortar or deep hollow, a hollow or valley, evidently in the greater Jerusalem area. Let's look it up. Maktesh. Maktesh refers to two main concepts of biblical quarter in Jerusalem known as the mortar for its bowl shape, likely a merchant district, and unique geological landforms called Makishim. Craters, erosion circuits in the Negev Desert and Sinai like Maktesh Ramon, characterized by steep walls and deep valleys. Okay. That's what it says. Based on the provided research, I put on Maktesh stock crash. It says However, the results indicate significant market events in 2025 that may be relevant to your search. No, that's not what it's not telling me anything. But there will be, and you can see that with what's his face, Warren Buffett. He got all this money. He ain't willing to put his money in this fake ass money. He's 90-something years old. He's like, man, I'm gonna retire. I'm gonna just keep this shit, man. Don't even put that money in there, man. He was talking about doing business with Japan. He was like, yeah, don't even put your money in. He took, I think like a good, I don't know if it's 350 million, a crazy amount, man. He's just sitting on it. He's like, man, I ain't putting my money into that fucking slot machine. That's what this place is. A casino. That's how he runs this place. You people fucking love it. You love the lights, you love it all, man. He gonna shut all that shit off. You gonna see how much you love it then. When your ass is getting a grievous sword. Let me grab this in the book of Revelation, chapter 14. Revelation 14, verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever. And they had no rest day nor night who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Yahweh Shai. And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, Right, blessed are the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth. Yea, saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them. That we may rest, for if we blesses them who die in the Lord from henceforth. Okay? You come into this thing and you endure and you die from that point on, man, hey, consider yourself blessed. But a lot of people, they ain't gonna have that, they're not gonna be able to enjoy that or say that. They don't labor for the Lord. They don't really believe. And if you take that chip, you're gonna die to death or the uncircumcised, the second death. You're gonna take part in the lake of fire. Okay, so you're gonna get burned up. Esau, Edom, and everybody else that's over here in Babylon. Let me grab this in the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 9, verse 6. But this I say, he which soweth sparingly shall reap also sparingly, and he which soweth bountifully shall reap also bountifully. So you should be reaping bountifully. Some of y'all sow sparingly, but you will expect a big harvest. And that's your problem, man. You out of your damn mind. If you were out, if you see a man going out, he's putting seed in the ground, he's making furrows, they call them. You know, so he's tilling the ground, he's putting seed in the ground, he's laboring. Putting a lot of seed down, because not every seed you plant is gonna bud. But someone who ain't doing any work, let's say he don't do any work, you just staring at a field that you ain't put no work into it, and you expecting a harvest. Only a fool would do some shit like that, man. Only a fool would do that. Now you gonna be laboring abundant, so your confidence could be much higher that you're going to get something. Even if you only get one little thing, you're expecting something. You're like, shit, I done put in mad work. I done put seed all throughout this ground. I done watered it over and over. Okay, I tended to the field. I can't think of one thing I haven't done that wouldn't bring forth that crop. Okay, so your confidence is going to be a lot higher as opposed to somebody who doesn't. He's not abounding. He's not putting in any work. He's just on the sideline looking at the field. His confidence is not going to be high like that. Okay? He's more likely to faint. He's more likely to give up. he hasn't been doing the work. That's what's gonna happen. That's why you want to sow bountifully. You want to be you want to keep sowing. Grab this in the book. You know, and we're not sowing for cash and you know, carnal things, man. We're sowing for mercy in a time where no one got any mercy. We're sowing for grace in a time where there ain't no more grace. Okay? We're sowing for, ultimately, I just want a day's pay. I want that penny. Let me grab that, as a matter of fact. What's that, the book of Luke 20? No. Matthew 20. Yep. Matthew 20 and verse 1. For the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is a householder, which went out early in the morning to hire laborers into his vineyard. Every time I think about that, I think about when you go to like, you know, Home Depot, you see a bunch of Mexicans there. You're trying to get them to come work on your house. That's sort of like what the Lord did. You know, he came and got us off the streets and going to teach his word. Matthew 20, verse 2. And when he had agreed with the laborers for a penny a day, he sent them into his vineyard. Okay, ultimately that vineyard is this truth, laboring in this truth. Okay, the vineyard is really like the garden for the elect. Okay, you tending to them. We're servants for their sake, whoever they may be. Matthew 20, verse 3. And he went out about the third hour and saw others standing idle in the marketplace. Yeah, okay, so the third hour, when the sun goes up, that's the first hour. That's like 6 o'clock in the morning. So the third hour would be 9 o'clock. Okay, 9 o'clock in the morning. So the way we looked at time was different too. Matthew 20 and 4, and he said unto them, go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right I will give you. And they went their way. So you found more people standing idle, meaning being in the world, not doing any work. And he told them to go work. And they agreed. All right, I'll go work. That's just like us. We came into this truth. We were called. We don't know if we're chosen yet, because you got to labor. You got to wait to the end. Some people came in a lot earlier. More people came into this truth around in 2007. I was just thinking about that. I was locked up in 2007. I had to do a bid, man. I did a long bid. So it wasn't no truth coming to me at that point, being in the joint. I never heard of it. I never saw no Israelites in there. Then by the time I came out years later, it took me maybe about, yeah, jail does a number on you, man. It does a number on you, man. You trying to get your life. You got to get in the world coming out the joint. You got to be occupied on getting back on your feet, you know, doing all that. So that took me a grip to get back there. And then once you get to that point, I just came to the truth maybe a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, something like that. I think. It seems like longer than what it was, but I'm a babe in this thing, man. Okay? But I always believed in the Lord. Okay? And I always knew that damn white Jesus, something that just rubbed me the wrong way, man. The whole time. That shit didn't even feel right. But you niggas, it feels just right for you. You don't see nothing wrong with that. Straight reprobate. But I'm only bringing that story up as a testimony of how the Lord will still take you and bring you into the vineyard late in the game. You know, someone came in the third, you had people in the 6th hour. That might be the apostles and the elders. Then the 3rd hour, probably like around 2007. Then the 6th hour, or, you know, something like that. 6th hour might be 10 years ago. You know? So you were idle, you were in the world. You didn't know about the Lord. You didn't know about his prophecies. You just had a Bible. You never even heard of Israel. Matthew 20 in verse number 5. Again, he went out about the 6th and the 9th hour and did likewise. So he still kept calling people in, even though he already had people laboring since the 6th hour. So they were getting later and later. Just like this day, man. It's getting later and later in the day, but he's still calling people to come to work. Go labor. But not a lot of people, there's not too many laborers, not too many, they don't see the value in doing the work. I can tell you from my own experience, the biggest value from doing the work is you get built up at the end of the day. The Lord builds you up in the front of all these damn heathen. He's gonna keep building you up too. So it don't really matter about let the Lord, let me grab this in the book of I forgot, Corinthians. Apollos watered, Paul gathered, planted, KJV. I said that wrong. 1 Corinthians 3. 1 Corinthians chapter 3. I'll start at the top real quick. And I, brethren, could not speak unto you as unto spiritual, but as unto carnal, even as unto babes in Hamashiach. Hamashiach meaning the Messiah. That's what Christ means. It means the Messiah or the anointed one. When you look it up in Greek. When we say the Hamashiach, meaning the Messiah, or it means the same thing, the anointed one, or the Messiah. Okay? And that's how you say it in Paleo Hebrew. 1 Corinthians 3 and 2, I have fed you with milk and not with meat, for hitherto ye were not able to bear it, neither yet now are ye able. For ye are yet carnal, for as there is among you envying and strife and divisions, are ye not carnal and walk as men? For while one saith, I am of Paul, and another, I am of Apollos, are ye not carnal? Yeah, that's a carnal thing to say, because if you say I am of Paul or I am of Apollos, you got different teachers that, you're supposed to, brothers cleave to certain teachers, but they ain't nothing but a vessel that the Lord's using. So you want to be careful of worshiping some man. You don't want to be like that, man. You want to make sure they're leading you to the water. They're leading you to the water, man. You don't have to, you watch this and you watch that. Even these other camps, ICE, UPK, IUIC. Those camps are still, the Lord's still using those camps to gather his elect. But eventually you're supposed to get stronger and stronger and stronger. You're supposed to learn. You're supposed to just stay on the same level that you were on. Even if you're within GMS 2. You're supposed to constantly be increasing your knowledge. You don't just get lazy, man. You're supposed to be working. No matter where you are, what form of fashion, you're supposed to be working, man, and increasing your knowledge when it comes to the Lord. Okay? Not being all puffed up about where you got the truth from. Some people got the truth from different camps. But then they all got led and fed up to the point where they learned about GMS. And some people started in GMS and fell out. So it really don't matter. What matters about you increasing yourself, man, and not losing focus on Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah. You got to stay focused once you find the Lord. It tells you in the book of Baruch 4:28 that you got to seek him 10 times more now that he may be found. So he might give you the bait, with one of these other groups, and you just increase from there is what I'm trying to say. It's the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 5. Who then is Paul and who is Apollos, but ministers by whom ye believe, even as the Lord gave to every man. That's right, they're just ministers. They're not nothing to worship. They don't take any glory in it. Those men weren't glorifying in the fact that the Lord put them in that position. They were happy they were in the position, but it was all to glorify the Lord in their eyes. And that's what Paul's checking them on, man. Like, nah, man, that's just carnal. He's rebuking them. Don't think like that, man. I don't care who is Apollos, who is Paul, man. You gotta serve the Lord. Okay. 1 Corinthians 3 and verse 6. I have planted, Apollos watered, but God gave the increase. So that's the Lord, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, they giving the increase. So whatever little you have, for wherever you found it at, I didn't join no group. I found it on the internet, and the Lord increased me. Okay? So I didn't come up the channels that, most people are probably going to come up off the internet. There's a lot of information. If your spirit is looking for the truth, you can find it. If the Lord's dealing with you, he'll lead you to the waters. Okay, and you can fill your cup up the best way you can. There's no exact way on how to get it. You got to pray. You got to keep the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability. You got to know the name, and you got to sincerely seek it. 1 Corinthians 3 verse 7, so then neither is he that planteth anything, neither he that watereth, but the heavenly Father that giveth the increase. So the heavenly Father is the one giving you the increase. He might be using us to give you the word, but in order for that word to flourish and bud, it's all up to the Lord. Okay? 1 Corinthians 3 verse 8, now he that planteth and he that watereth are one, and every man shall receive his own reward according to his own labor. For we are laborers together with the Heavenly Father. Ye are God's husbandry, ye are God's building. So that's it. You belong to him. Right? But it says the planter and the waterer are one. So you might have got planted somewhere else. Someone planted the seed and it gets watered somewhere else. It just constantly gets watered. You got to constantly water that seed. Don't let it dry up and die in the ground, man. You got to keep that water on that seed. That's how you do it. Okay, let me grab this in the book of. I don't want to draw. I'll go back to Matthew in 1 second. Proverbs 11, verse 25. It says, "The liberal soul shall be made fat, and he that watereth shall be watered also himself." So there you go. You watering, and the Lord's watering you. That's like what he was doing with Paul and Apollos. They were watering and planting seed, and the Lord was increasing them. Keep increasing them. And Paul kept increasing. All right. Matthew chapter 20 and verse number, I'll start at 5. And again, he went out about the 6th and the 9th hour and did likewise, meaning calling these idle servants to work in his vineyard. Okay. Matthew 20 and 6, and about the 11th hour he went out. So now we're getting past the 6th and the 9th hour. So 9 hours past 6 o'clock would be what? So you got 3, that's 9. The 6 hours, 12 o'clock. So the 9th hour would be 1, 2, 3 o'clock. Okay? 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Matthew chapter 20 and verse number 6, and about the 11th hour, which would be 5 o'clock, he went out and found others standing idle, and saith unto them, why stand ye here all the day idle? Yeah, so even the 11th hour. Okay, so now you got someone that's been laboring for 11 hours, and then you got somebody right here, he don't know a damn thing. He don't even know there's a vineyard that needs to be tended to. Okay? That's just like your, the men that are being called to come do this work. They might have heard it late in the game, man. Then they come into this thing like, damn, brothers been laboring. Some brothers got videos going back 12, 13, 14 years, man. The elders going back to 2007. And then you coming in this thing like, damn, man, I don't know a damn thing. I might be a 10th hour Israelite now that I think about it. I thought I came late as hell. But it's all on time, man. It don't matter how late we are in the game, man. This word need to go out. Okay. Matthew chapter 20, in verse number 7. They say unto him, because no man have hired us. He saith unto them, go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right, that shall ye receive. Yeah, so no man has hired us. You know, it tells you in the book of Romans, they pretty much didn't hear the word. They didn't know there was work to do. What's that, Romans? Is it Romans? Romans. I forgot where it's at. 10 and I think it's Romans 10. Yeah, Romans 10, in verse 17. So then faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of the Heavenly Father. So you got to hear the word. Okay? That's where your faith comes from hearing the word. But I say, have they not heard? Yes, verily their sound went into all the earth, and their words unto the ends of the world. So have you not heard? It's been all over the internet. You know, it went into all the earth. The Lord's been calling, and that's why we use the internet, but we come out on these highways and hedges too. It's better to go speak to a brother having his day, walking by the altar. Just like Waka Flocka, he walked by the altar yesterday, and nigga couldn't even get the word, like a fool. But that's what happens, man. You know, people walk by the altar and you break bread with them, and they, you know, they get to learn right there. Romans chapter 10, and is that it? Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Matthew chapter 20, and then verse number 8. So when even was come, the Lord of the vineyard saith unto his steward, call the laborers and give them their hire, beginning from the last unto the first. So beginning from the last unto the first. Okay? So the people who came in last, they get paid first. Okay? Matthew chapter 20, in verse 9. And when they came that were hired about the 11th hour, they received every man a penny. And a penny's going into a day's pay. That's what we're ultimately laboring for. That day's pay, which is the salvation from the Lord. You know, which comes with the mercy, which comes with the grace. Okay? Which comes with protection. That's our 401k, so to speak. That's what we're banking on from the Lord. The benefits of having the Lord on your side, guiding your steps. Matthew 20 and 10, but we know it goes back to being predestinated. It has nothing to do with you can't will your way to salvation. It's all about predestination. Matthew 20 in verse number 9. And when they came that were hired about the 11th hour, they received every man a penny. But when the first came, they supposed that they should have received more. And they likewise received every man a penny. And when they had received it, they murmured against the good man of the house, saying, these last have wrought but 1 hour, and thou hast made them equal unto us, which have borne the burden and heat of the day. So a lot of people who first came, you know, they labored more than the people who came in at the last. You know, and they murmuring like, hold on, why are we getting paid the same as them? Well, we were here pretty much the whole damn day. So they labored more than the ones who came in the 11th hour. Okay? Which are, you know, a lot of you Israelites that are, you know, just coming into the truth or just hearing about it or whatever. Right now, it's always the 11th hour. It's pretty much the 11th hour till we get to the kingdom. Okay? If you really think about it, well, everybody's in the 11th hour, even the apostles and elders, because this word was out here before them. So it really goes back. That's the 6 hours is pretty much when Yahweh Shai, when his ministry started. That's the first laborers. Then that labor increased to the point it got to the other part of the world. You know, if you want to hyper focus on that, but in this time, you know, they would be the sixth. They would be the because the word there was a falling away that happened. So I mean, it don't really reset the clock, but you know what I'm saying. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 20, and verse 12, saying, "These last have wrought but 1 hour, and thou hast made them equal unto us, which have borne the burden in the heat of the day." But he answered one of them and said, "Friend, I do thee no wrong. Didst not thou agree with me for a penny? Take that thine is, and go thy way. I will give unto this last, even as unto thee. Is it not lawful for me to do what I will with my own? Is thine eye evil because I am good? So the last shall be first, and the first and the first last. For many be called, but few are chosen." So that's right. Many be called, but few are chosen, man. So you know, you wanna make it into the end. That's the point. Okay. You wanna make it into the end, and the last shall be first, and that's also symbolic of Israel. Right now we're the last, but we're gonna be the first in the kingdom to come. Let me grab this in the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 11, verse number 5. "Many kings have sat down upon the ground, and one that was never thought of have worn the crown." That's right. One that was never thought of have worn the crown. That's talking about us, the men of Israel. No one sees us ruling. That's funny. That's something to joke about. And that's how the Lord wants it to be. Okay? That's how he can get the most glory out of it. He can turn the whole nation upside down and put crowns on their heads. It's like it tells you in the book of 2nd Ezra, the 2nd chapter. That's not happening to the rest of you damn heathen. Now you're going to get ruled over with a rod of iron. Rigorous rule shit. Okay, you're gonna be bowing your head when you see an Israelite. Okay, many kings have sat down on the ground. Like Esau, you about to sit down on the ground. Lord set him up, and now he's gonna take him down. That happened. He's done that to many kings, Esau. It's not just you. Don't take it personal. That's what he does. That's why when we read Isaiah 47:1, it tells you, "Come down, sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon." That's talking about you. There is no throne. Okay? Yeah, you're going to sit in the dust. You're going to sit on the ground. You're a king. You're ruling right now. But then you got to go down. You got to get beneath the feet. You got to go underneath our feet, man, where you belong. Let me grab this in the book of John, chapter 9, verse 1. "And as Yahweh Shai passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth. And his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? Yahweh Shai answered, Neither have this man sinned nor his parents, but that the works of God should be made manifest in him. I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night cometh when no man can work." That's right. The night cometh when no man can work. So we laboring now as much as we can, because there's going to be a point we're laboring bountifully, okay? Because there's going to be a time when you can't work anymore. Okay? Now you got to reap. Okay? Galatians 6 and 7. Grab that. Now you got to reap what you sowed. Let's grab that. Galatians chapter 6, verse 7. "Be not deceived, God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap." So we hope to reap what we sowed. So we sow in righteousness as much abundantly. Okay? In order to receive a righteous reward, a righteous harvest. All right? How you doing? Galatians chapter 6, verse 8, for he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, but he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. So we want to reap life everlasting. Okay, so we sow into the Spirit. But a lot of y'all sow to the flesh. You know, you trying to prosper in this place. Oh, I'm gonna keep going and doing this and doing that, not working for the Lord. He tells you, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's and render unto the Lord what is the Lord's. So, you know, you want to make sure he get his glory. All right. Let me grab this in the book of 2nd Esdras. So that day's coming, man, where you ain't going to be able to labor anymore. Second Esdras chapter 2, verse 27. Be not weary, for when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh, others shall weep and be sorrowful, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance. That's right. Thou shalt be merry and have abundance in a time where everyone's mourning and all that. Sorrowful. Enjoy that. Especially when you wanna see a harvest, right? You didn't put any work in. You just looking at your ground like it's just gonna pop up. Some crops just gonna pop up. You ain't even put any work in. You out of your damn mind. That's what you call a fool. That's what you call somebody who works, who Ecclesiastes 10:2. A fool operate in his left hand. You're a fool. You're just looking at the ground. Oh, I hope some tomatoes and potatoes and carrots pop up. All your seed is in the barn, though. Nah, I'm emptying up my cup, man. I'm emptying it out. What's the point of holding the truth? The Lord told you that's holding your talent in a napkin. He said that's a wicked servant. So you're going to take that which was yours and give it to the man that has 10 talents. He's going to have more talent. That's what the Lord will do. There's a certain amount of spirit out here, man, and hey, if you're getting more and more of it, hey, that's beautiful, man. Thank the Lord for that. That means somebody's losing his spirit. Another brother's falling out, he ain't doing right, man. So that spirit's being taken away from him and he's giving it to a man that's better than him. Okay, some people are just better than other people. It's just as simple as that. That's why when the Lord gives us the ranks, there's someone better than you. Okay? Yahushua is the best. King David is under him. You know, you got the 12 disciples. They up very high. But there's order in the kingdom, man. All right? No one knows who is who. And on top of all of that is the Most High. And then all you heathen are way down at the bottom. And then underneath you heathen is the so-called white man. He's the floor. He's the ground. You can't go any further than that. He's death. He's the grave. As a matter of fact, he can go past that. He's the only one that can go past that. We're going to everlasting. Just like the parable of the rich man and Lazarus. So we're going to have abundance. Lord's will, we're a part of that number. What time is it? Oh, damn, I gotta go. Man. Where do I want to go? I thought it was Psalms 37. It might be 34. I forgot the precept. It basically says, it might be 32. Well, I forgot what the precept is. quoted. It might be 37. I can't find it. Yeah. Here it is. Psalms 37 and verse 19. They shall not be ashamed in the evil time, and in the days of famine they shall be satisfied. So don't you want to be satisfied in the days of famine? I do. I don't want to have to rely on the so-called white man to give you bug meat and Simpro and shit like that. 3D printed steaks. That's what you selling yourself out to. Ultimately, he gonna be all these dead bodies. He gonna be grinding that shit up into meat like he does now. That's what you eat at McDonald's and shit like that. Human meat. All right. That's what you gonna sell yourself out for. Some fucking human meat. Yeah, I got some bacon for you. I trust these fucking nasty people, man. These people are evil, man. The wicked are in power. I don't know what you don't understand about that, man. You niggas like him. Fuck that nigga, man. Tired of this damn dude, man. Fucking proud as shit. Can't wait for the Lord's will give me some power, man. I'll crack that damn devil. I'll split his shit into two. He needs to get cracked. He's in the so-called tribe of Judah, man. Need to get on his ass, man. He done brought Judah down very low. So you need to get his ass kicked. Fuck the devil, man. I'm tired of this nigga. Okay. Isaiah chapter 65. In verse number what's the 13. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. That's right. My servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed, man. Okay, his servants, those who are working for him, they're going to be rejoicing. 1 Kings 17 and 2. And the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, Get thee hence and turn thee eastward, and hide thyself by the brook Cherith, that is before Jordan. And it shall be that thou shalt drink of the brook, and I have commanded the ravens to feed thee there. So he went and did according unto the word of the Lord, for he went and dwelt by the brook Cherith, that is before Jordan, and the ravens brought him bread and flesh in the morning, and bread and flesh in the evening, and he drank of the brook. Oh, man. Imagine the bird bringing you flesh in. Ah, man, I'm going to end it there, though. Lord's will, this was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakha, Kwadash. Shalom, Abba Babal, Kwam Yasharala.